services such as education, health, and housing. The world system of imperialism and capitalism is in deep crisis. Women are among the worst affected. They are on the front lines of the struggle against war and militarization and for survival, decent income, jobs, and basic human rights. They do this from a situation of multiple operation or worse, working more for less pay, having less access to the wealth of the planet and taking more than their share of family responsibility. They continue to bear the brunt of patriarchal value and backward social system. Without a struggle against capitalism, a consistent fight against imperialism is not possible. Because we believe the imperialism and capitalism means poverty, violence, and war to the women. And without the active participation of women's masses, the anti-capitalism, anti-imperialism front will be weak. For many years, we have pushed for labor standards law and unemployment insurance, the rights to health care, to education, a clean environment, child care, pensions, choice of dress, choice of partner, child custody, divorce rights, and so on. We are fighting a sexual apartheid regime in Iran that its backbone is discrimination against women. Every day we hear news of factory shutdowns, hospitals shutdowns, public services shutdowns, and layoffs. And we see that women are the first victim of the layoffs. In the fact, unemployment and poverty is being feminized. I believe that threat of war and the economic sanctions imposed on Iran and made the lives of these ordinary people worse and is added more abstract. That Iranian women must overcome in order to make advancement and get free in both public and private sphere. The struggle for ending systematic violence against women, ending inequality and reaching equal rights and fundamental human rights for Iranian women run through the struggle against the misogynist, reactionary and anti-human theocratic Islamic regime in Iran. Women's operations is a subject at the center of our struggle for human rights, human liberation. Thank you. Long live International Women's Day. Thanks.
Thank you, Simi. Do you have Cat Norris here? Cat? Okay. This is an indigenous woman who was supposed to open the ceremony tonight, but unfortunately she hasn't made to the event yet. As soon as she comes, we're gonna get her to do what she was supposed to do at the beginning of the rally. So our next speaker is Maria from Vancouver, Rape Relief Women. She's here. Please give warm welcome to Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria from Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter. The International Women's Day movement was sprung forth in the early 1900s by women to demand no more war, no more environmental degradation, no more imperialism, colonialism, and capitalism, and no more violence against women. This is also a day to celebrate our solidarity with women around the world, to celebrate the women of India, Lebanon, and Indonesia who are outraging on the streets demanding to end sexist violence, to celebrate the women in Iceland and their successful refusal to have pornography available in their country, to celebrate the Native women in Canada who are leading the Idle No More movement, fighting for sovereignty and the protection of water, land, and life. This is a day to celebrate the women who took action despite being claimed feminists under the critique of others. I'm here today with my sisters from the collective of Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter. We are celebrating our 40th year anniversary as the first rape crisis center in Canada. Our volunteer-led collective of women is committed to operating a 24-hour rape crisis line, 7 days a week for women who have experienced male violence, to own a transition house for women preventing or escaping male violence, to be advocates for women facing oppression because of her race, class, disabilities, age, but most of all because she's a woman, to campaign for social change in the institutions that give us less than what we deserve. I know a woman who got her rapist to be sentenced for 9 years. I know a woman who said no to sexual advances from a manager at her job and proceeded to have him fired. I know women who were in prostitution and used her transition house as a way to strategize her next steps. I know women who've left abusive husbands, unsure of whether if financial and physical survival was even possible. I know women who fought for the custody of their children to protect them from a violent upbringing. I know women who spoke of surviving incest at a public event. I know women who participating in the Vancouver Rape Relief Support Group, and these women are committed to supporting one another, educating one another, and taking action together. Every day we hear the truth spoken about the women's lives at the end of a phone line. We know about violence and the threat of violence that shape our lives as girls and women. We understand the hierarchical domination of male over female reinforces and normalizes sexual violence. Today we acknowledge the courage of women who share their accounts of violent attacks and how they've survived and escaped. We see that as an act of resistance, every woman who calls us is fighting against patriarchy, for herself, for me, for you, and for all the women around the world. If you ever feel discouraged in the fight to end violence against women, remember the 1,200 women who call Vancouver Rape Relief every year, the 120 women and children that live in our transition house, my collective of sisters, and our international allies who are fighting together towards women's emancipation. I celebrate today.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, it's cold, so let's do some chanting. Okay, so it's a call and response, so it's like this. Women's rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Okay. Women's rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Women's rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Very good. Let's do another one. So it's a call and response. I call stop, and you say attacks on women. Okay, let's rehearse that. Stop. Attacks on women. And then I say fight, and you say for social justice. Okay, we're cold. Okay. Let's do it one more time. Stop. Attacks on women. Fight for social justice. Stop. Attacks on women. Fight for social justice. Very good. Now we have music. We have feisty speeches, and now we have Jennifer Efting, musician, feminist, and welcome, Jennifer. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. I'm just gonna play a few songs that I wrote. The most women-y ones that I could think of. There's a fire in your mouth that burns the room when it comes out. So let your voice out, let your voice out, like a spark to the sky. Speak the syllables and watch the flames lick the wall. And you don't stop, you close your eyes and let the sweat baptize you. The smoke gets in our clothes and in our hair, and we push out to the cold and bracing air, and fill our lungs, and fill our lungs, and fill our lungs. Well, you could say I am your sister, or your comrade in arms. I got your back, it's all for one. Take a deep breath and run. All I have are these two hands and my feet against the ground, to put on this ash and cinder till not a trace is found. And I'll bring along this song hidden underneath my tongue. Spit it out just like a seed, let it grow to what we need. We'll sing it out loud, we'll sing it out loud, we'll sing it out loud. We'll sing it out loud, we'll sing it out loud, we'll sing it out loud. We'll sing it out loud, we'll sing it out loud, we'll sing it out loud. Yeah, I think so. Some girls become brides. Some brides borrow blue for luck. And some girls don't come back from a ride in some guy's truck. Some girls teeter madly on stilettos, red and tall, and twist their ankle running for the bus home from the mall. Some girls and some women make the coffee and they sing in basement suites. And some women clean hotel rooms and they dance with tired feet. Some women stay up late writing songs for no one's ears and sing out to the darkness all they think in love and fear. Some women and some girls kneel to pray. They pray to travel far away, far from home, oh please to stay. And some women light a candle. The candle smoke drifts up in curls for all those wayward, laughing, ragged, angry girls. Some girls.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. A big applause for Jennifer, please. I just want to let you know that Jen is going to perform at Prop House next Tuesday. March 12 at 7 p.m. and it's located at 1636 Venables and at the VDLC cabaret, as I understand. And it's good to go and support her. Our next speaker is Amal Rana, and she's an activist with Queers Against Israeli Apartheid. She's going to speak and address actually the Pakistani woman situation, and please give a warm welcome to Amal.
Hi everyone, how's everybody doing? Good. So glad you could make it out. I know it's cold. I'm going to try not to take too long. I just wanted to start by thanking the organizers for having me here, and to all of you for coming out. Happy International Women's Day. So I want to start by acknowledging that we are in unceded Coast Salish territories, that as a Pakistani, I am a settler here. It's something I want to remind all Pakistanis and all people who are not indigenous as well. So I've been asked to speak a few words about women in Pakistan. And I can start off by saying that I cannot and will not presume to speak for all the women in Pakistan or Pakistani women here or anywhere else. So I'm sharing my own perspective and some of my own thoughts as someone who's been involved in doing Pakistan solidarity work for a number of years. I want to start by clarifying that when I refer to women, I'm referring to women who are not just cisgendered, but also trans women. It is absolutely true that International Women's Day events and organizing often exclude and marginalize trans women. Trans women who identify as indigenous or as women of color are amongst the most disproportionately impacted by violence against women, yet so often we don't speak about this. International Women's Day is one day, but I hope that every day we can remember all of our sisters, including our indigenous sisters, over 600 of whom have been murdered and are missing across Turtle Island. Shame! Shame! I hope we can remember all of the women living without immigration status or living with precarious status and so many others. It's heartbreaking for me today that I stand here to speak about Pakistani women and I cannot have my own sister standing beside me. She very much wanted to be here. She can't cross the border due to her own precarious immigration status. I had trouble focusing on writing something for this today because I constantly live in fear of my own, losing my own sister and all of our other sisters. I can stand here in front of you today and talk about violence against women in Pakistan, about the structural and systemic violence of the Pakistani state that entrenches the oppression of women into legislation that to this day places the blame for sexual assaults on women. I can talk about the poverty that the vast majority of women and in fact people in Pakistan are living in. I can talk about the ongoing violence, also sanctioned by the state, against Hazara women and their communities, and other Shia women and their communities, against Christian women and their communities, against Balochi women and their communities, against Ahmadi women and their communities, against Kashmiri women and their communities, against Afghani women in Pakistan and their communities, and women from other marginalized communities and minorities. There is so much I can say. I can talk about the women and other workers killed in factory fires in Pakistan recently, factories that were producing jeans for a German retailer. I can ask you to remember the name of Azia Bibi, a Christian woman and poor laborer who is still in prison and facing the death penalty in Pakistan under the sham known as the blasphemy laws. But I can also ask you to remember Dr. Afia Siddiqui, a Pakistani Muslim woman tortured and detained by the U.S. for years, still in prison, rumored to be the Great Lady of Bagram. Shame! Shame on Obama! One of the thousands upon thousands of victims, Afia is one of the thousands and thousands of victims brutalized by the ongoing U.S.-led war of era. A war that continues to turn Muslim bodies in Pakistan and around the world into statistics, into collateral damage. I can ask you to remember Malala Yousafzai, a name you probably heard, attacked for her work on girls' education, including her own. But I can also ask you to remember all the other women and girls who have been murdered or had their family members murdered by U.S. drone attacks. Next time you read yet more Western media headlines about militants in northern Pakistan, I ask you to remember that this Islamophobic war, this war of imperialism, is being waged in the bodies of women and girls and people who bleed just like us, who feel and breathe just like us, whose only crime is to be Muslim, to be Pakistani, to be Balochi or Pashtun, to be in a place that has become part of the Obama administration's targets on Terror Tuesdays, a special day chosen to bomb targets on the ground who somehow can be determined from the air. Shame. There is no doubt that Pakistani women in Pakistan and all over the world, along with our sisters, both cisgender and trans, face ongoing oppression through heteropatriarchy and daily violence and sexism and transmisogyny. There is also no doubt that all of these structures are reinforced through ongoing imperialism, colonialism, and white supremacy, including the racism of white feminists who think that we need rescuing when we have always been at the forefront of our own revolution. We do not need to be rescued. We do not need to be rescued. Whether it is the women of Bukhara, Punjab, leading a movement of
Do you feel that women are respected in Canada?
Against the Pakistani military?
No?
You are being respected.
And the state of women who joined the lawyers movement and ousting the notorious military general and then President of Pakistan, Pervez Musharraf, or women textile workers and other women active in keeping alive a strong labor movement in Pakistan, or Pakistani women who stand up every day against drone attacks and who speak our truth all over the world. There is no doubt that we do not need the help of Western feminism or American-style democracy imperialism to save us. February 12th marked the 30th anniversary of brutal police action against women in Pakistan who were on a peaceful march to the offices of the Chief Justice of the Lahore Court against the law of evidence that gave a man's testimony twice the weight of a woman's, particularly in the case of sexual assault. Our roots of resistance go even further back to the times we stood up against colonial rule in India and forced the British to leave. Our resistance is deeply rooted and cannot be broken as we stand today and every day with our Indigenous sisters here on Turtle Island and our sisters around the world. I want to end by sharing a poem that I read out a few years ago at another IWD rally. It was written at the time that Obama was first elected into office. Unfortunately, it's still relevant today. And don't worry, Parvin, it's not very long. Some of you might have heard this before. This is called Pot Roast and Imperial Justification. How come you don't cover your hair? My breath punches out of me in one big gasp as I pretend